Hey there, I'm Jen Herman with Jen's Trends. And if you're wondering if you should be posting all of your Instagram content to your Facebook page, this is the video for you. So this is a more complicated answer in the long run. In general, I'm going to give you a big fat no. You should not be posting all of your Instagram content to Facebook. No, 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 no. But there's a lot of reasons why, and there's some science and data behind this that I want to break down for you. So don't just assume that was the answer and walk away. I want you to understand why. Now, before we dive into that, let's talk about Instagram feed and Instagram stories to Facebook feed and Facebook stories. Everything I'm going to talk about in this video is related to feed posts and sharing those back and forth from Instagram to Facebook. When it comes to your stories, in general, if you really want to put your Instagram stories on your Facebook stories, that's probably okay, because most people aren't consuming Facebook stories the same way they are on Instagram, and it's a great way to get additional exposure and create the content for your Facebook stories without having to create a whole new content plan. And if people aren't watching them on Instagram stories, they can catch them on Facebook stories. It's a little bit easier. If they are duplicative, it's not going to overwhelm them. So from a stories perspective, if you want to share your Instagram stories to your Facebook stories, I'm going to give you a green light on that. I still wouldn't do it all the time, and I would still look at what that looks like in terms of longevity down the road. Is that something you want to start putting up unique content on your Facebook stories? But for right now, it's kind of in an okay zone if you want to put Instagram stories directly to Facebook stories. Now let's talk about the feed, because this is where things get a little bit more complicated in terms of whether you should or should not be sharing all of your content directly from Instagram to Facebook. The primary reason I say no is an aesthetic type environment, okay? When you take your Instagram post, which has that caption formatted that way, you probably have all your hashtags in there and all the app mentions in there, and you go and automatically post that to Facebook. A, it looks amateurish, and B, it looks lazy, because we can tell you just auto-posted from Instagram to Facebook and that you didn't put any effort into your Facebook strategy. So it's not exactly a good look. Some people do it and get away with it, and it's okay. But in general, from a professional standpoint, this is not a good look for your business. And just on that reason alone, I don't recommend using this strategy. But beyond that, a lot of times when you write your captions on Instagram, you're writing them for an Instagram audience. You may have a different audience on Facebook. They might be a slightly different age range. There might be more men on your Facebook than there are on Instagram, or vice versa. And you're probably talking a little bit differently. Additionally, you're probably doing things on Instagram like click on the link in the bio. So when you take that caption and you put that over here on Facebook, it doesn't necessarily land the same way, especially with the link in bio type comments. But if you have different behaviors, if you have different audiences, if you have different people you're talking to, you want to tailor those captions on each platform to those respective audiences. And you want to reference things on the platform as they are accessible. So on Instagram, it is click on the link in the bio. On Facebook, if someone sees it, they're like, no, I want the link. Like, put the link here. I want to be able to click on the link. I want to be able to navigate to it. And they can't do that, and they don't have any place to go. So you're losing the opportunity for that traffic when that call to action from Instagram is now what is available on your Facebook post. So that's something to be wary of. And in relation to that, Facebook has different types of content, right? You can do text only. You can do links and external links. You can link to Facebook groups. You can mention people differently and get those cross links on Facebook that you don't get on Instagram. Instagram is a visual platform with photos or videos. And that content has to be the initial standing point, and then the caption is meant to augment that. So if you're trying to take your Instagram strategy to get people's attention and drive conversions and put it on Facebook, which has a different strategy, it's probably not going to convert in the same way. They're not designed for audiences to consume the content in that way. So for that reason, again, probably not ideal to force your Instagram content straight to your Facebook page. Now, another kind of, let's look from another science kind of data perspective on this. If somebody finds your brand for the first time and they go and look at, they see your Facebook page and they see your Instagram account, if they see that all your Instagram account is on Facebook, it's all the same, then chances are they're going to follow you on Facebook because they think they can get more on Facebook, because not only will they see all your Instagram content, but they will also see all the other things that you allegedly, most likely, post on Facebook. So they won't follow you on Instagram. The problem with this algorithmically is that Facebook punishes and reduces reach on business pages. So someone follows your Facebook page thinking they're going to see everything, but they're not. That content is going to be extremely algorithmically sorted for preference. Versus Instagram, they're much more likely to see that content. So you've basically just told your audience, don't worry about it. You don't need to see our content because you're never going to see it, because they're not following you on Instagram because you put the same thing on Facebook. They chose to follow you on Facebook, where they're not going to see the vast majority of your content. There goes your reach, there goes your exposure, there goes your chance for conversions and connecting with your audience. So for that reason, that's my main reason why you don't want to put the same thing on both platforms. It will actually hurt you in terms of exposure and reach. Now, that being said, let's talk about that Instagram reach. One of the arguments I always get about this is people say when I share my Instagram content directly to Facebook, those Facebook posts typically get more reach and engagement. Now, in theory, yes, this is true. Facebook owns Instagram and Facebook wants to promote its own Facebook family of content. So you're more likely to get higher reach on an Instagram post on your Facebook page than a regular post on your Facebook page. In general, that's kind of algorithmically what would happen. The problem with this is, for all the reasons we just talked about, that content doesn't necessarily end up performing well. So even though you may get more reach at first, if it's not performing, that content stops getting reach. So in the long run, that augmented reach that you were doing this for isn't really there because people aren't interacting with the content. They aren't getting the kind of type of communication from you that they want, or the links or things that they need, and they stop interacting with it. So Facebook stops showing it to them, and boom, there goes your reach. So argument negated. So what should you do? Here's the thing. On occasion, yes, do some cross-posting, but in general, keep them separate. They are separate platforms, they are separate audiences, they are separate algorithms, they are separate content strategies. They should not be replicated from one to the other. If you want to do some cross-promotion, meaning you take one of your Instagram posts, and I recommend you do this after you post it to Instagram. So post, launch to Instagram, then go in and share to Facebook, where you can edit your caption, change some things out, remove the @ mentions, take off the hashtags, maybe redo the wording, something like that, and put that on Facebook. Now that's a direct share, increased reach, yay. But it's a unique piece of content. It's not that every single post was auto-shared to Facebook. And you can write that caption to say something like, if you want more of this, come over to our Instagram account. Or here's just one photo of what we've got going on. To see the rest of it, come on over to Instagram. Or if you want to see what we're doing, we're sharing everything over on our Instagram stories. Whatever it is, put that call to action to drive your Facebook traffic to Instagram to bump up your audience from your existing Facebook page. But make sure you include your URL for your Instagram account on that post, so that if someone's reading it on desktop on Facebook, they can click on the link and go to the desktop. If they're reading it on mobile, click on the link. It's going to prompt them to open the Instagram app to continue, in which case they do. Boom, they're in there and they're following you and they're seeing your content, etc. So you want to give them that direct access to your Instagram account when you're doing those cross-promotional things. It's great, like I said, to build your audience, expand that reach a little bit, have a little bit more opportunity, but only in unique circumstances. So I hope this answered that question for you. I hope that made some sense, both from an aesthetic as well as a scientific background. If you are looking for a speaker or somebody for your next event, virtual or online, please by all means reach out to me and let me know. Additionally, if you're looking for someone to help your team or your business with your social media strategy, this is the kind of stuff I geek out over, and I'm happy to help figure out how we can build out your social media or your Instagram strategy for your business. For any of those inquiries, please send an email to Jenn, Jenn, @jennstrends.com, and let me know how I can help you. And I will see you in the next video.